My name is Alan Harris. I represent Springer. Springer is a major research level scientific publisher. We publish in all areas of science, technology, medicine, behavioral and social sciences. We are the largest research level book publisher in the world, publishing more than 5,000 scientific books, mainly in the English language. There's some French, some German, some Italian, some Spanish, and 2,000 scientific journals, and a number of large scientific research level databases in medicine, in material science, in mathematics, and in pharmacology. Okay. I am the licensing manager. My title is Licensing Manager Africa and Developing Countries Initiatives. So very much in this modern time, internet technology, it's very much my responsibility to represent my company in sub-Saharan Africa and all developing countries to help universities and research institutions get sustainable, low-priced access to our scientific products. And I am very pleased and honoured to state that since last year in November we have a national site license with CLISC, Kenyan Library Information Science Consortium, and that consists of 14 major university and research libraries here in Kenya. I believe the total number of university and research libraries is somewhere close to 70 in the whole country, and as we have a walking consortium, we are very keen to have other members join us as each year as the consortium progresses. And the idea is that students, professors, researchers, teachers, librarians, all your universities and research institutions have access to the latest research level scientific publications. And this is very important for Kenya. Research, higher education is the backbone of progress in every country in the world. And the more access you have, the more scientific research you undertake, the more innovative, the more competitive, the more innovation-driven society your country will become. And Springer is one of your best partners to help you. Not the only partner, but one of the largest scientific publishers that will help you to achieve that. It's not been an easy road. We do not expect an easy road going forward. There's bureaucracy, there is funding, there is some low fee involved, but generally speaking, electronics opens a lot of new doorways for us. So a scientific library, if they bought a print book, they could, in comparison to the price they are spending on a high-level print scientific book, they can get maybe 10 books electronically in a collection fee for the price of that one book. And whereas with a print book, one person at one time can have access to that book, Springer doesn't have what we call digital rights management, so there is no limitation to the number of consecutive users of any book or any book chapter. And for that case, the same applies to our scientific journals as well. So you could have 1,000 students at one time looking at one and the same book chapter. Think about we're not a textbook publisher, but think about the professor subscribes to a specific article or chapter in the book. Everybody doesn't have to stand in the queue in the bookshop or go to the repro shop. You can all have access to that one chapter real time online, as long as you've got proper bandwidth. And you have proper bandwidth here in Kenya, you've recently upgraded to fibre optics, and the speed of download is a lot better. And we are very pleased. We do training, we do promotional cooperation, we do webinars, we do e-mailings. We supply to all the libraries what is called electronic mark records, which are electronic library cards. The library loads these cards into their library system, and then when your users go onto the library catalogue, they're able to find all the resources that are available to them.
Regarding the collection that you have, the Spring, is it basically electronic resources or
electronic is the we've gone from a paradigm shift from print to electronic. Print was always the governing form, but now electronic is the primary form, print is the secondary form. We don't have big warehouses anymore. All the content we supply to our authors and contributors to our books and journals, we supply special electronic files which enables them to produce their articles and their book chapters in an electronic way. They supply it to us electronically, we load it electronically, and it's stored in massive databases with more than 5 trillion gigabytes of content. And if we need a new book, or we have to print out a journal article or a journal volume and issue, we print it from the electronic files. So electronic is the primary medium.
About the conference, what is your role as Springer Link?
Spring is very pleased. We've sponsored the cultural evening of the conference. We're very pleased to participate in Scecsal. This is personally my third or fourth Scecsal conference. It's very useful to participate in the exhibition. We're meeting librarians from all over Africa. I've met people from Ghana, from Kenya, from Cameroon, from Uganda, from Nigeria, from Botswana, from Malawi, from Zambia, from Zimbabwe, and Southern Africa as well, Botswana. The whole sub-Saharan African library community is extremely well represented. If you look at all the scientific papers here, there's been some core spokesperson from the United States, I believe a South African professor who's immigrated, and everybody is learning about this latest state-of-the-art technology in e-librarianship. And it's a wonderful networking event, and it's a wonderful opportunity to speak to all our partners, and from librarian to librarian, from librarian to publisher and vendor, and vice versa. And it's a great place to network and to communicate.
And in your provision of electronic resources, which are the major challenges to face in Springer?
Well, technology is changing rapidly. For big organisations, it's a challenge to, when new international standards are launched, which one to go for. Yeah. Bandwidth in some countries is a problem, but it's not our problem because we adapt our server according to the needs. Internet usage is growing rapidly every year, so we're continually upgrading our servers. As far as Kenya is concerned, one of the biggest problems is that it's a big paradigm shift for libraries to move from print to electronic, and many of the financial departments find it difficult to pay for a product that isn't a physical product. You have an electronic access, but it's not physically visible. You don't have a book in your hand. So the bureaucracy is a bit of a struggle. I'm sure we're going to get through it. Payment collection is a struggle, and I've just been speaking to a lady from the librarian from Daystar University, and one of the biggest problems, not only in Kenya but in the whole of the developing world, is awareness. Getting it part of your standard curriculum to teach all your users to work with the core library systems, to make the library collection the first and core point of entry to a system, because you know the library is pre-selecting high quality, peer-reviewed quality content for you. And lots of people go to Google and they go, there's nothing wrong with Google, and all the big publishers work with Google and other search engines, but you should never underestimate the importance of the scientific knowledge and infrastructure and collation. The librarian and the library infrastructure brings so much important information together. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the library anymore because of modern internet connectivity. You can have remote access if you have a modem at home, but it's bringing the correct structure into the whole business.
Now, like for the instance, in regards to technology, you have some software that you have put in place to make sure that every time a new technology appears, you update to the new one.
Yeah, day to day is different. When you have so many gigabytes or trigabytes of content, before you implement any new standard, you've got to be, for a very large percentage, sure that you're making the right choice. If you look at BlackBerry, they haven't been able to keep up with the most state-of-the-art touch technology. So scientific content is easy to read on an iPad, it's easy to read on an iPod, but it's not easy to read on the BlackBerry. And BlackBerry, for this reason, will be losing a lot of market share, or has lost a lot of market share. But yes, of course we've got to go along with the new technology. We're a big organisation and we do our very, very best. And what we do, we work for a long, long time in what we call beta versions. So we would elect maybe 100 universities, primary, leading universities worldwide, to test any new product or any new standard we're going to launch. And once that's been thoroughly tested and all the teething problems have been erased, then we would officially launch. And we're working on such a project now called EPUB, which is a new international standard which will make it possible to read electronic books on handheld mobile telephones, but not all telephones.